Hi everyone. We're going to go through the notes that I put up on Google Classroom about writing equations of lines through 2 points. This is a pretty difficult topic, so I strongly suggest that you've either printed out the notes that I put on Classroom and fill them in along with me, or write this stuff down in your notebook so that you can have some examples to help you with the homework. Okay, so before we get started, hope you guys are doing well and everyone's being safe and feeling okay. So yeah, let's get started. All right. So you should remember the two important features of the line are the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept, which is b, okay? That's the m and b from y equals mx plus b. So what we're doing here, you're given the graph of a line, and you need to write the equation based on that graph. So the two things we need to get, the slope, well, the slope is pretty easy to find. You're just going to use rise over run and count like how many up you need to go and how many over you need to go. But the intercept is where we start to have a problem. Because if you look for the intercept on this one, well, it's a little below -3, maybe like -3.2, -3.3, something like that. But it's hard to be sure of where exactly the intercept is because it's not it doesn't land on a whole number value. So we're not going to be able to just spot the intercept from the graph. We're going to have to do some algebra to solve for the intercept, okay? So let's take a look at how that works. So here's your steps to do this. You're going to find the slope using rise over run, okay? If you want to give yourself some extra work and make it more difficult for yourself, we also have that formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, but I would strongly recommend not doing it that way, okay? Because we have the graph, we can count the boxes and just use rise over run, okay? So then in step 2, once we have that slope, we're going to substitute that slope into y equals mx plus b. Okay, and something I want to add into your notes, and 1 point. What do I mean by that? Well, we have 2 points dotted in on this graph, right? So I'm going to substitute either this point or this point. Doesn't matter which. Okay? Step 3. Now that we have the slope, we're going to solve for the y-intercept. All right? And now that we have the y-intercept, we need to write the equation. So we're going to substitute again your answer from step 1. Step 1 gave you the slope. Step 3 gave you the y-intercept into y equals mx plus b. Okay, let's take a look at the first example. So we're going to start by getting the slope. Okay, which we're going to use rise over run. Okay. And remember, you have to go from left to right. If you go the opposite direction, you're going to get it wrong. So we want to start with this point because this is the leftmost point. Okay, we're going to start here, and we're going to go up to here. All right. So to get from the first point to the second point, we're going up. We're going up by 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going over 1. Before we go over, let's put in 4 for the rise. Okay. So 4 up put us right over here, and then we're going to our run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the run is 10. Okay, and we're going to simplify that to 2 over 5. So our slope is 2 over 5. Okay, so the value of m is 2 over 5. Okay, now we're going to take, well, we did step 1, and step 2 says we're going to substitute the slope and 1 point into y equals mx plus b. So here's how that works. I'm going to pick 1 point, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to use this one over here, which the coordinates are -4, comma, -5. Let's write that down. Okay. The -4, of course, is an x. The -5 is a y. All right, so we're going to substitute that, and that into y equals mx plus b. Oops. All right. So y, that's -5, equals m, that's 2/5. X, that's 4, plus b. B we don't know. So I'm going to go -4 equals, remember multiplying wholes and fractions over 1 and then multiply across, 8/5 plus b. Okay? So to eliminate the fraction here, we can multiply everything by that denominator. We can multiply everything by the 5. All right, so I'm going to make a big parentheses and put the 5 around it. So we have -25 equals, then we have to go 5 times 8/5. Okay. When we multiply those, the 5s are going to cancel out. We're just going to be left with 8. Okay, so we can get 8 plus 5b. All right, solve for b, -8 to both sides. -33 equals 5b, divide by 5, divide 5. So b equals -33 over 5, okay? That's step 3. We found the value of the intercept, and before we found the value of the slope. So step 4, we're going to substitute again into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to take my answers from the other part. That, the slope right over here, and the intercept right over here, and stick them in y equals mx plus b. Okay, so to get our answer, y equals mx plus b. All right, so we know that m is 2/5, so I'm going to go 2/5 x, and the intercept is -33/5. That's going to go in for b. Okay, and that's your answer for number 1. Okay, number 2. All right, so let's start with the slope. M equals rise over run. All right, so we're going to start with this point, and we're going to go down to this point. So we're going down 1, 2, 3. So the rise is equal to -3. Remember, your rise is negative. It's if you're going down, if it's a fall. All right. So that brought us over here, and then we're going right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we'll simplify that to -1/2. All right, so that's the slope. Let's get the intercept. Okay, again, I'm going to pick a point. Let's use -1, 1. Okay, doesn't matter which point you pick, you're still going to get the same answer as long as you're doing everything correct. Okay, that's your x, that's your y. I'm going to substitute x, y, and m into y equals mx plus b. Let's see what that looks like. So y, that's 1, equals m, that's -1/2, x, that's -1, plus b. 1 equals 1/2 plus b. I'm going to multiply everything by 2. 2 equals 2 times 1/2, 2's are going to cancel, and you just get 1 plus 2b minus 1 minus 1. 1 equals 2b. Divide everything by 2. So 1/2 is equal to b. Okay? So over here, we got the slope. Over here, we got the intercept. Now what's left to do is write that equation. So y equals mx plus b. Okay. We know the value of the slope is -1/2. So y equals -1/2 x. And the intercept is +1/2. So plus 1/2. Okay. All right. So go pause the video, try number 3, and check back for the answer when you're done. All right, number 3. So the slope rise over run. So we're starting with this one. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and when we reduce, when we simplify the fraction, it's going to be 4 over 5. Okay, let's pick a point. I'm going to use this one over here, 4, 2. 4 is x, 2 is y. So we'll substitute the m, the x, and the y. Y equals mx plus b. So we have 2 equals 4/5 times 4 plus b. 2 equals 16/5 plus b. Okay, I'm gonna multiply everything by 5. All right, I'm gonna have to come over here because I'm running out of room. So we've got 10 equals, let's do 5 times 16 over 5. Okay, see the 5's cancel, so we just have 16 plus 5b, subtract 16, subtract 16. -6 equals 5b, divide, b equals -6 over 5. Okay. So now to write the answer, y equals mx plus b. Okay. So y equals, what do we get this for the slope? The slope is over here. That's 4 over 5. So 4 over 5 x, and now we need the intercept, which we got is -6/5, so minus 6/5. Okay. All right, and that should be all you need to complete this assignment.